What has this week been like for you?
Like a deployment. Felt a lot like a deployment. It was life or death, and that's what combat's like. Combat is life or death.
7,000 miles from the chaos in Afghanistan, Marine Corps Major Thomas Schumann has been operating on 2 time zones, working day and night, desperately trying to get his former interpreter, Zach, out.
Zach was with me literally every step of the way through firefights, ambushes, casualties, you name it, Zach was there.
Zach is just one of thousands of Afghans and Americans caught in a week from hell.
Let me be clear. Any American who wants to come home, we will get you home.
Today, promises from the White House. But the reality on the ground is much worse than anyone could have imagined, including new reports of the Taliban harassing and beating Americans.
I actually got whacked with one of these, fan belts for not moving fast enough.
It's been another tense, difficult day here in Kabul. People are still struggling by the thousands to get through those checkpoints to the American side of the airport, onto those evacuation flights, and away to some sense of liberation, some sense of freedom, at least release away from the danger here in the city.
Tonight, 2 decades of American fight seemingly erased in roughly 2 weeks. Last weekend, chaos throughout the country as the Taliban took province after province, with the main prize, Kabul, clearly in focus. By Sunday, the U.S. Embassy was being evacuated, and the Afghan president fleeing.
That's the situation. The Taliban just come to Kabul.
And Zach, trapped without any assurances from the country he had fought alongside and risked his life for years.
This is the worst and dangerous situation now here in Kabul, too.
I don't anticipate the security situation getting better in the morning. I anticipate it getting worse.
Halfway around the world on a quiet street in Rhode Island, Major Schumann commanded his base of operations from his table.
I have 2 points of contact at the Abbey Gate.
It's an hour and 20-minute walk from his location in Kabul.
With few options, Zach and his 4 kids, all under the age of 5, start the longest walk of their lives.
Praying for you, buddy. Stay safe.
But that plan foiled.
We just returned back to our apartment because there was a gunshot fire everywhere. That's why we are returning back to our house.
On Monday, President Biden addressed the nation.
Ending U.S. military involvement in Afghanistan now was the right decision. American troops cannot and should not be fighting in a war and dying in a war that Afghan forces are not willing to fight for themselves.
Admitting the Taliban retook the country much more quickly than anticipated, but standing behind his decision to leave Afghanistan.
Our current military mission will be short in time, limited in scope, and focused in its objectives.
And yet disturbing videos like this, showing a crush of Afghans trying to get into the international airport in Kabul, raising questions about the administration's evacuation plan. The desperation illustrated by these crowds of people putting their lives in danger in their attempt to flee.
It certainly seems like they could have had a better plan to get the Afghans who helped Americans out of there, to get Americans out of there. There may have been chaos in some cases, no matter what, but the degree of chaos seems that should have been thought about long ago.
On Tuesday, Zach and his family make another attempt to get to the airport. The Taliban had erected checkpoints. But when Zach arrived to a chaotic scene, he was unable to get through. This as the Taliban gave their first press conference since seizing power, promising amnesty for all those who worked for America and the NATO forces, vowing not to hunt them down or seek retribution.
What guarantees will you give to the Afghans who are now hiding at home, who want to leave the country, who the Americans will transport?
We are assuring the safety of all those who have worked with the United States and allied forces, whether as interpreters or any other field that they have worked with them.
But Washington was taking a wait-and-see attitude.
What matters, the only thing that matters to us, are actions and not necessarily just words. We're going to be looking for the follow-through. We'll be looking for the deeds.
The Taliban is ruthless. They have been ruthless in the past. It is yet to be seen whether the Taliban has changed.
As Wednesday dawns, the voices growing more desperate.
They told me that anywhere I go, they will find me and they will kill me.
There is going to be a massacre. I'm telling you that there is going to be a massacre.
Why have the American soldiers forgotten about us after everything we did? I don't want to be killed by the Taliban. They're gonna cut our heads off if they find my location. Please help.
But for Zach, seemingly a miracle, Major Schumann has tracked down an American soldier at the airport, willing to find Zach's family and bring them past the checkpoints. He messages Zach to look up at the tower and put his son on his shoulders as a signal. 40 minutes later, a response from Schumann's contact. Got him. After those failed attempts, Zach, his wife, and 4 young children finally secure precious seats on a plane.
Zach was living on borrowed time. A dead man walking. He sent me a picture with his kids on the airplane. He said, "I'll see you in America, sir." That felt so good. It was, I knew he wasn't going to die.
Taliban.
Near the airport, my colleague Ian Pannell encountering some Taliban interference.
Tell him we have permission. We have permission. Yes, ABC. Taliban permission.
Even though they were allowed to be recording the scene, the situation escalates with more Taliban appearing.
Stop filming. Just put it down.
By Thursday, hundreds of Afghans have landed at a U.S. airbase in Qatar, including Zach and his family. 2 of his children are exhausted, dehydrated. Now they're waiting on more paperwork before they can continue. Zach and his family are just a few of the lucky ones. Countless others still stuck in Afghanistan, defiantly celebrating their Independence Day, bravely waving their national flag, before the Taliban broke it up with gunshots.
Good afternoon. Since I spoke to you on Monday, we've made significant progress. We've secured the airport, enabling flights to resume. Not just military flights, but civilian charters and from other countries, and the NGOs taking out civilians and vulnerable Afghanis.
Although the president sought to reassure, many aren't convinced the Americans are going to be able to pull off this most audacious mission.
Although the numbers who've been flown out of the country have gradually ratcheted up, there are still far more people stuck here in Kabul than have managed to escape. We're also starting to hear worrying reports about the Taliban, some elements within the Taliban at least, going door to door, trying to hunt down people who had worked together with the US-led mission here.
It was only through a miracle and incredible individual effort by a few Marines and airmen that through their heroism and courage, we were able to pull Zach out.
Although Zach and his family are out, Major Schumann working around the clock to rescue others still stuck in Afghanistan.
He's not getting here until he has this SIV, and the deal is not to get him in a tent in Qatar. You know, I want to hug him here on American soil.
The past week has been heartbreaking. We've seen gut-wrenching images of panicked people acting out of sheer desperation. They're frightened, they're sad, uncertain what happens next. I don't think any one of us can see these pictures and not feel that pain on a human level. Now we have a mission to complete in Afghanistan.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.